Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Strides City Gym. My name is Zaz, and I know this video is very late. Our League Cup took place on August 5th. It is now August 28th. It's been 2 weeks since the last one. Had a lot going on, just personally, everyone involved in the channel, and myself. So it's been crazy. I'm hoping to kind of crank these two out because I have some really exciting videos that I want to come back with. So this is the top 4 match. We have Austin Sherman on the left. You've seen him on the channel before. Specifically in the last tournament we had, he played like Vince in the finals. Playing Arceus Giratina, the tried and true, good old reliable. And then on the right, we have Daniel Lopez. He is playing a Lost Box Turbo deck, like the 3 vacuum, 4 Colress, like 8 switching cards, that kind of deck. He is playing, or he is not playing Kyogre, which I think is kind of interesting, but he is playing Hawlucha, just for extra like security in knocking out things with Sableye. You know, you can Hawlucha ping and then clean up with Sableye here. If you didn't tell by the length of the video, this is a long one. There's a real grind fest set of games here to an ending that like no one expected. We were all kind of crowding around. So Austin Sherman does go first. He starts Giratina. He plays Nest Ball, Trekking Shoes, grabs Arceus V, attaches energy. You know, it's exactly what you want to see. Unfortunately, he did start the Giratina in the active spot. He chooses to hold on to the path for Starbirth. And probably hoping that Daniel doesn't have like Lost Vacuum. Like if he had Lost Vacuum in his hand, he would be able to get rid of Path to the Peak anyway and fuel his Lost Zone. So it's kind of annoying. Daniel he has Greninja active, he can steal cards. He has Drapion and Forest Sealstone with that Lost Vacuum in hand. Doing a quick deck search with Star Alchemy. Kind of unfortunate that he has to place it on Drapion, but he really is looking for that Battle VIP just to kind of get him going. He didn't draw into anything with Greninja. Looks like he doesn't have a supporter either. He might be eyeing up the Colress if he doesn't have one in his hand. I don't think he does. I think he would have played it. So he does go straight for the Battle VIP. I agree. I think he has some switching cards in his hand. So he's just going to get to see more cards. Fuel up his Lost Zone. Everything he kind of wants to see. He's going to grab Double Comfy. Does all his prize checking. I will say, because I've played both decks a lot in the past couple months. Lost Zone, anything, you do need to do a lot of prize checking. Especially in this build where you're just trying to turbo out all your stuff. You want to make sure you always know what's in your Lost Zone at every given time. So, then you're playing the Escape Rope, going into Comfy with his nice ability markers. Just get rid of either Super Rod or Cram. I think Super Rod's too valuable of a resource, but he gets rid of it anyway. I mean, hey, he's the one that made top 4, not me, so he knows exactly what he's looking for. Probably gonna try to be really aggressive. He does have the double rope. Going into the second Comfy for a flower selecting. Hoping to see Colress at some point. Does not have Colress, but he gets rid of Switch Cart for Water Energy. Eyeing up the Lost Vacuum. Maybe getting rid of Hawlucha doesn't really help in this matchup. Getting rid of Hawlucha and Forest Sealstone. So he does not need Colress to have all 4 cards on Lost Zone that he needs for Spit Innocently. And Austin is going to take 110. The damage actually does matter, I think, in this matchup. It's going to make things easier for Dragonite. It's going to make things easier even for Drapion. He could just do another Cram hit into a Sableye to knock out Giratina V-Star. If he just stays as Giratina V, later on he could like Boss's Orders, just knock out with Grant. So the 110 actually does make a huge difference. Austin eyeing up what looks like an Ultra Ball, I think, trying to decide what he wants to get rid of. Eyeing up getting rid of a Path to the Peak. Probably just thinking of what he wants to get rid of. Gonna play the Escape Rope first. Daniel gonna promote a Comfy, which I think is safe. We're gonna eye up. Okay, he evolves into Giratina V-Star. I think he recognizes that Cramorant is a huge threat. And then with his Ultra Ball, he's gonna discard Path to the Peak and Boss's Orders to grab himself Arceus V-Star. He's going to go straight for Starbirth, the tried and true, the bread and butter. Turn 2 Starbirth, going to look for a double turbo energy and maybe a Judge to just kind of get his opponent's hand down. Although he only has 2 cards and he did not play a supporter last turn. So I don't really know if it's worth it to play Judge on him. It might be he's eyeing up maybe a Bidoof. So you can get a potential Bibarel, but Austin does need to draw some cards. That's for sure. Looking at his list, it does not look like he plays a copy of Professor's Research. So that's not even an option. I think having that in the deck would have been good. But again, I didn't make top 4, so I'm not making the list. So he is going to play Path. He's just going to hold the Judge, which I agree with. Your opponent didn't really do anything. You're just kind of vibing with what you got. Your opponent's down 3 different switch outs in their deck. You've played Path to the Peak. You've already played a Lost Vacuum. They had a Stadium. They probably would have already played it. I really like this line of play. It's aggressive while also being cautious as to what your opponent has in their hand. And if they do start drawing a lot of cards, maybe he has the Colress, maybe he just top decks it. Maybe he gets off a Flower Selecting or something. And then you can Judge and kind of disrupt that hand advantage. Daniel getting Super Rod and Artizone. I think he has to take Super Rod here. Again, just looking at the lists, Super Rod is too important of a card to get rid of. He plays 3, but Lost Zoning 1 is huge. He does have Boss's Orders as a supporter. He has Super Rod. He has Mirage Gates. He attaches energy to Comfy to retreat into Cramorant. And it looks like he's eyeing up Boss's Orders on Giratina. Kind of recognizes like, hey, that's going to be how I win this game. I already have 5 cards in the Lost Zone. You know, if I just get a Colress, I have Mirage Gate in hand. That's an easy 2 prize cards with Greninja while also setting up damage on Arceus V-Star. So I like the line of play. Unfortunate that he doesn't have Colress, but again, you know, sometimes these things happen. You just got to kind of play to all your outs, and I think he definitely is with that boss play. I really, really like what he's going for. Austin kind of recognizes if he keeps Giratina in the active, he's in danger. Giratina is in danger of just being knocked down no matter what happens, so he has to attach, retreat into an Arceus V-Star. He benches the other Arceus V. Just a Trinity Nova to it, just so he has another attacker, so he has more energy on the board. I really, really, really like this play from Austin. Just kind of eyeing up where he wants his energy to go. Looks like he's only looking to accelerate 2. He does know he has a lot of double turbos in the deck, so he doesn't have to commit double turbo, or he doesn't have to commit 2 energy to Arceus V, especially because he has only 2 energy he's going to accelerate. So Daniel is on the draw. He's going to play Ultra Ball. Or, sorry, not Ultra Ball. Hisuian Heavy Ball. Excuse me. Eyeing up between the Sableye and the Raikou V. He chooses the Sableye, which I agree with. I think you just want to kind of play the slow one prize game, which is unfortunate that Drapion is on the bench, but this is kind of where he's going to try, hopefully, to get a Colress this turn. So that way he is able to use Greninja. He does have Nest Ball into Escape Rope, which is kind of unfortunate. He's already down 3 switching cards. If you get rid of this Escape Rope, you're out half of your switch outs in the whole deck. Chooses to get rid of Escape Rope for Nest Ball. He's really prioritizing getting that extra card in the Lost Zone. So I think he's going to go... He might go for a Comfey. I'm not sure. Maybe the other Cram. He does choose the Comfey. Looking at his hand, I don't really see a way he could retreat into that Comfey. So maybe he's just saying, hey, I need the Comfey. This guy's kind of just stuck in the active. But if he gets another turn to Flower Select, now he's kind of chilling. And Austin's still not able to play the Judge. Because if he plays Judge, now his opponent's just... They're chilling. Like, he just has everything he needs. Plays Trekking Shoes after evolving to Arceus V-Star. Discards an Arceus V. I don't think you really need it. Draws Giratina V-Star. He really doesn't need that right now. I think from here, it's just safe to Trinity Nova. Again, your opponent has only played Boz's Orders as their supporter. You have to know they have some stuff in their hand that they can't use yet, especially if your opponent... Like, as a Lost Zone player, if I ever count my cards in my Lost Zone, I always think my opponent is like, dang, you definitely have Mirage Gate, or he has Sableye in his hand. Austin really wants to play this Judge because he doesn't have any cards to play. He decides to just bite the bullet, play the Judge. I don't know how I feel about it. Because Daniel still would have needed, even if he had Mirage Gate. Now, to be fair, Austin doesn't know. He only has 1 Mirage Gate. For all Austin knows, he has double Mirage Gate, and he's just walking into a Greninja attack, into a Drapion attack. But he doesn't know. I think if your opponent hasn't played a supporter for so long, at that point, I think you just hold the Judge. Hold the Judge until they start drawing a lot of cards. Now, this path has stayed in play a long time. It's kind of putting in the work. Daniel's hand is really good. He has Colress, Lost Vacuum, Mirage Gate. It looks like that's a Battle VIP pass. That's perfect. Lost Vacuum fodder. Also going to go for the Trinity Nova after playing Pal Pad to shuffle some resources back into the deck. Just going to do the quick little deck search. He's going to choose to fail. I think he's out of energy in deck that he can accelerate. So I think he prized... well, he discarded 2 energy off of Giratina to retreat. And I don't think, looking at his list, he does not play a Super Rod or any way to kind of get those resources back, which is kind of scary. So now, for the first time all game, Daniel has played Colress's Experiments. Sees a lot of really good cards, unfortunately. He has, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the Lost Zone. He can go in with Dragonite. I don't really like that play right now, but I think keeping it is important, so I would like to see him keep Dragonite. He does not need Lost Vacuum. He chooses to get rid of Psychic Energy. He's kind of eyeing it up between Psychic Energy and maybe Dragonite. I think you want to keep the Dragonite, especially with your energy. He hasn't lost on the energy yet, so I think it's okay to get rid of it. He is also eyeing up Roxanne as a card he could choose to Lost Zone. I like keeping the Roxanne. Ooh, he chooses to discard Dragonite, which is fine. I think if you're afraid of your opponent going knockout on a V for 2 prize cards, you want to just minimize the amount of Vs. Just make it so your opponent kind of has to work for it. And I like keeping the Psychic Energy just to conceal cards. He does now Flower Select and get rid of a Lightning Energy, which I think is okay because you have now gotten rid of your Dragonite, and you know Raikou is prized, so nothing really needs Lightning Energy. I think just keep the water. You can attach it to Greninja. You can go for the Moonlight Shuriken play, which I think is really good. Chooses to play Super Rod, getting back some energy into the deck with like 2 water and a Psychic. Again, specifically for that Moonlight Shuriken play. I like it. I like where he's going with it. Chooses to get the Lightning instead, which I think is fine. Sableye in the deck. He does have the second Super Rod available in the deck through the Judge. And I think it's okay to not shuffle it in yet. Especially because he plays more Psychic, I think, than anything else. Looking at his deck list, he plays 3 Psychic and 2 Lightning Energies. So just keeping the Lightning in the deck, I think, is fine. He knows he has some extra to play around with. He does attach for turn and has the switch card, so he is going to go for this Greninja play, which again I really like. He just kind of like puts the pressure on. Gonna take the knockout on Giratina V-Star, puts 90 damage on Arceus V-Star with the double turbo energy on it. Which I think is very important because Austin, as of yet, has not attached energy to that second Arceus V-Star for a very long time. I think it's been on the board for 2 or 3 turns, and it has not received another energy. So I like Daniel being aggressive. He's saying, if you don't have double turbo, if that guy's not a threat, I'm just going to ping him. I'm going to attack him with Drapion for a knockout. Austin choosing the bench school vet after the Moonlight Shuriken. Again, I really like that. Just keeping your opponent from taking 3 prize cards. I like the timing of it. I think it's kind of stressful because you know you're getting rid of Greninja. Your opponent's down 2 Super Rods. You know, if they play a third, it's either prize or like it's not gonna be readily available after this Judge. You're really limiting your opponent's hand. Daniel had to shuffle in that Roxanne, so there's not going to be a lot of disruption. Austin's going to go to 2 prize cards this turn, and all he'd really need to do, he really wants to find a Giratina V, so we can have that V-Star, and he has double Nest Ball and V-Star. I don't know if he has enough energy, really, to utilize Giratina V-Star. Taking a look at the deck, does not have any more Psychic and Grass Energy. They're all in the discard pile, and the 2 Grass Energy attack to these Arceus Vs, so he really has to go in. This is an Arceus world right now. We're just kind of living in it right now. You're just living in this Arceus world. He's going to play double Nest Ball. He's going to grab Bidoof with one of them, and it looks like he's going to fail the second one, which I think is fine. You want to keep your bench kind of small. Especially because you don't want to be Sableye. You just want to mitigate the damage as much as possible. Also going to 2 prize cards. He does have double turbo in hand that he could attach to his Arceus V-Star next turn. I believe that was the prize card that he got. So really important. So yeah, especially since he hasn't seen one for a while. I know I saw 2 in the deck. Daniel just draws into the Roxanne anyway. He draws into, what is that, Escape Rope on Colress and the Battle VIP. Choosing to opt for the Roxanne, I really like this play. He could be greedy and play the Colress, but at this point, He doesn't need it anymore. He has 10 in the Lost Zone, so he's really looking for Sableye, Psychic Energy, and a Switch Out to take 2 prize cards, and then he can just kind of go in and finish with Drapion because he knows that Austin cannot knock that Pokemon out. He'd have to have Choice Belts. So he's kind of fine by setting Austin to 2 cards in his hand. Ooh, he has Artizone and a switch card. Really, the card I'm really excited that he drew is Escape Rope. I think if he Escape Ropes, he plays Artizone, grabs, uses Escape Rope, also promotes the wrong Pokemon, the game could be over. Choosing to play the Artizone, I think he's going to grab the Sableye. There's also Psychic in the deck. There's plenty of Psychic Energy in the deck. He did not need to Super Rod any back in earlier. So he's just kind of taking a look, seeing all his resources available. Is that what he wants to do? He does eye out Clara. Clara being an important combo piece in these Turbo Lost Box decks where you can just grab Sableye and Psychic Energy straight from the discard pile. A common move that you'll see a lot if you've never seen a Lost Box deck like this is they will play Clara and grab double Sableye, double Energy, and just bench both Sableye. So you're just saying like, hey, if you don't kill him, we're going in. Shuffling after the Artizone. I'm not sure why he hasn't played the Mirage Gates. He might just be slow rolling his opponent here. Might just be thinking about all the plays that he can make. Okay, choosing to go for the Comfy first just to see if he grabs the Energy. I don't really like that play. I think it's more... Or maybe he was looking to grab another Sableye as well. Maybe that would have helped. I like the sequencing where he's playing Escape Rope before playing down the Mirage Gate. So if Austin does promote this Arceus V without any energy, it could potentially be stuck if you Roxanne your opponent to 2 cards. I think Austin does have Double Turbo in his hand, so he's not really afraid. Going for another Flower Selecting. He's really just trying to see what resources he can get out of his deck before he plays this Mirage Gate. He does grab the second Mirage Gate. He might have been looking for the second Sableye, really just to kind of set up a checkmate scenario. Or maybe he was digging for the Super Rod to get some energy back in for that Drapion V. He's eyeing up the Water and the Psychic. You gotta attach the Psychic to Sableye. Probably gonna attach that Water Energy to Drapion since he does have the Switch card in hand to manually retreat. Or not manually retreat, but to get that Comfy out of the active spot. I know he's gonna choose. Again, I didn't make top 4. I don't know how to play this deck, clearly. He is gonna choose to attach that Water Energy to the Comfy to manually retreat, just saving that Switch card until he absolutely needs it, which I don't hate that play, honestly. I think it's a good play, just kind of like, again, if Drapion kind of gets stuck in the active spot with a boss stall, and you really can't get it out of the active, you're going to need that Switch card. Looks like an easy Lost Mine to knock out a Squilvet and Bidoof. Daniel going to go to 2 prize cards after just a couple of attacks. That's kind of the power of this Lost Box deck. Austin does have Double Turbo and Path to the Peak. But I think it's too late. I think it's too late for the Path. I think he just kind of has to hope that Daniel does not have anything that he can do. Really would have liked to see a supporter played, like an Iono. Just unfortunately, when you get Roxanne just kind of sticks. He is going to take a knockout on the Sableye. Going to go down to 1 prize card remaining. And we're going to see what Daniel has. Gonna play the Hisuian Heavy Ball. I wonder if the Raikou is still prized, so he's gonna grab that. Austin has double Arceus V-Star on the bench. So Daniel might be looking for maybe boss's orders or escape rope, some way to kind of get that Arceus in the active spot if he has an escape rope left in the deck. I know he lost zone 1. I think he's played 2. There might just be one more in the deck. If he can play Raihan onto that Drapion, grab escape rope. He needs Super Rod. He needs a lot of things. So he's going to go for that flower selecting. He's going to grab the Psychic Energy and the Mana Feed. Definitely not what he wanted to see. He wants to keep all his energy in deck as much as possible. Kind of eyeing up Choice Belts. Raihan. He needs to get 4 energy on this Drapion. I really like to see him attach last turn to the Drapion, just to kind of like put him in checkmate, kind of like guarantee he's going to attack with it. Because then all he needed to do was a Mirage Gate. Now he needs to attach Raihan and a Mirage Gate. And he has to have a lot. He has to have a lot to hit it. So he's going to play Raihan, getting that energy onto the Drapion, just kind of counting his energy, see what he has. If he does hit the Super Rod, he is going to need to make sure that he puts a bunch of different types of energy into the discard pile. Daniel's still holding on to that that switch card, a really important switch card. Should be noted he hasn't used his token yet, but he has used that Comfy's flower selecting in the active spot. He's gonna play. I don't know if I would play Super Rod here yet. I think I would go into the Comfy. Oh, maybe he's gonna put energy into the deck and then Mirage Gate it, and then is that it? Okay, that might. He needs escape rope still. Okay, he's gonna grab Sableye as well. Maybe as a backup plan. Maybe the plan is to just like bring Drapion out, because he knows that Austin cannot knock it out unless he has Choice Belt, and Austin hasn't even remotely shown that Choice Belt the entire game. He's gonna go for the Mirage Gate after shuffling in. Gonna grab that Psychic and Water Energy, attach with the Drapion. If he hits Escape Rope, he does have game on board. He needs to find some way to get that Arceus V-Star into the active spot with the 90 damage on it. Because Drapion's Dynamic Tail will be able to take a knockout. It does 190, which is the perfect math. He even has Choice Belt if it wasn't perfect math. He's going to attach for turn. Has Switch Cart, so maybe the play is like, hey, I'm just gonna attack you with Drapion, and if you got it, you got it. If you don't, this guy's a problem, and I'm gonna knock you out in 2 turns. And I'm just gonna see what you got with it. So Dynamic Tail does say you have to put 60 damage on one of your Pokemon. So he's gonna choose to put 60 on to the Comfy, which is perfect. He does need to have Choice Belt to do exactly 210. To knock out this Drapion. Austin is kind of stuck, I think. I don't really think there's anything else he could do. Squilvet's gone for the Squilvet and Prey. He has not had a supporter card. He's going to look at his deck. Of course, it's on the bottom of the deck. Boss and Choice Belts. Maybe he could get an Arceus V. I know that has it'll take too much damage. Maybe, and you know he has Sableye in hand, so if you bench something weaker, he's just gonna be able to Sableye and knock it out. Now you did watch your opponent play his last. We don't know if it's his last yet, but he doesn't have a lot of cards left, and he did play a 3rd Super Rod. So he's gonna go for what looks like... it looks like he's just gonna fail. Really don't know what Austin could do to get out of this. He's just gonna bench Bidoof. He's gonna retreat into it. It looks like he's just gonna pass turn. He's gonna play Chorus to try and grab that escape rope. Okay, he doesn't have escape rope, but he does have Sableye. Sableye and Psychic Energy and the manual retreat to knock out that Arceus V-Star on the bench. So Daniel is going to take game one, a really exciting game one. Austin kind of had a great start, but the tempo just kind of got out of control. Once Daniel started taking some prize cards and started rolling, there just wasn't a whole lot he could do. So game two, I believe Austin is deciding to go first. Has a mulligan that he has to resolve. For Arceus Energy, he has Bidoof Star, but with Nest Ball and plenty of energy in his hand, so he can make it work. And draw his mulligan card. The Comfy starts. You'll love to see it. Austin going straight for the Nest Ball. Gonna grab an Arceus V-Star. Probably just gonna count his energy in the deck. See what he has available to him. A card that Austin plays in his deck that is definitely a dead card, and it would be very easy to discard with Ultra Ball. Are two cards. Cleansing Gloves, as well as Box of Disasters, which are great in the Gardevoir matchup. Which at our League Cup, there was a ton of Gardevoir. You saw in our top 8 game. Burger played Gardevoir right to a top 8 finish. Austin go ahead and he's gonna bench that Arceus, eyeing up what energy he wants to attach to it. He's gonna lay onto the grass. I think I would have liked... Oh, I don't think it matters. Part of me really says I would like to see him attach the V-Guard energy, specifically like for the Dragonite, if he gets an early Dragonite attack. But I don't think it matters in the long run. Not really. So Daniel is going to go for Artizone. Kind of eyeing up. He has not had Battle VIP Pass yet, unless I didn't see it in his hand. Oh, continuing the thought I had before, I think it actually does matter with V-Guard Energy because Dragonite with Choice Belt does hit 280. So V-Guard Energy on, maybe he's saving it for Giratina, or another Arceus V-Star, something that's going to be have a little more longevity in the game, something that he wants to kind of soak a hit. So Daniel really checking. He's going to grab the Comfy off of the Artizone. And you can tell he probably does not have Battle VIP Pass, because you'll see a lot of these players do, and I think they have both done it in game one. If they're just gonna go back into the deck, they're just gonna go back into the deck. There's nothing really they're gonna do about it. Oh, he grabs Battle VIP and Sableye. Sableye really put in a lot of work last game, but he does play 2, if I read his list correctly. So he's just gonna choose to keep the Battle VIP Pass. He does play 2 Sableye in the deck, so as long as he knows that the other one is still in the deck, I think he's safe. It's a loss on that one, and it is. I just saw it. So he's going to choose to grab Cramorant and maybe Radiant Greninja. I think. I don't think I saw it though. He probably would have grabbed it already if it was there. So maybe another Comfey, maybe Dragonite or Raikou to utilize that Forest Seal Stone. I don't think he wants Drapion. I think that's the worst thing he could pick. He does decide on the third Comfey, which I don't hate, especially if your opponent is going to potentially boss up a Comfey and knock it out. That is always an option. That's always a threat. I believe that Daniel also has Chorus in hand, unless I'm like blind and I can't tell. He has Battle VIP Pass and Forest Seal Stone. So if he didn't have Forest Seal Stone or didn't have Chorus before, he definitely does now. He does have Drapion in hand again. Is he going to bench it just for the Star Alchemy for Chorus? I don't see Chorus in his hand. I see Roxanne. Does have Lost Vacuum as well as words are hard. He has Lost Vacuum to just kind of guarantee he's gonna have a lot in the Lost Zone. He's kind of playing fast. I wonder if he is considering maybe like a turn 1 like Dragonite play. Or Drapion Dynamic Tail, just for a lot of damage in the early game. I wonder if he could. He probably could get to 6 or 7 cards in Lost Zone. He's gonna play the Chorus. Ooh, oh my goodness, this is awful. This is the worst Chorus I think I've seen in a long time. 3 switch cards, a Chorus, and a Sableye. All of those cards he needs. He needs every single one of those cards. I think he has to keep the Sableye. He's probably going to get rid of a switch card and an escape rope. He has to keep 1 switching card. He needs the Chorus for next turn. Might choose to... Okay, he's going to choose to discard the 2nd escape rope. Which is interesting because he could potentially have taken a knockout on this Arceus V. And I think that's a little too much to pass up. But he is going to say, hey, you know what? I'm asking for a lot that's really greedy to hit. I'm just going to play it safe. I'm going to play Chorus. I'm just going to take the knockout on the Bidoof. Cannot get a Bibarel on the board. I have not seen Austin play a Bibarel this whole set at this point. Austin kind of eyeing up an Iono. Kind of get all those cards out of Daniel's hand. He is going to choose to use Artizone. I'm going to grab another Bidoof. I do like Bidoof, specifically because you cannot use Moonlight Shuriken. So Austin choosing to grab that Bidoof. Iono, we're hoping to see double turbo energy into a Giratina V or another Arceus. I think would be okay. He just wants something to be able to accelerate to. He does also have Starburst, or whatever piece he was missing. He could grab. He does have double turbo and double Ultra Ball. Escape Rope, Grass Energy. He has a lot of options available to him. It's like he's eyeing up the Ultra Ball. To discard potentially Grass Energy and Escape Rope. He might be grabbing another Arceus V since he has the V-Star in hand. He could Starbirth, grab an out to maybe get Bidoof the next turn, or Bibarel next turn rather, or Giratina this turn. Yeah, I think he's eyeing up the Arceus. Just getting another one in play. Yeah, Giratina's cool and all, but is not an efficient attacker. When Trinity Nova just knocks out everything that your opponent is going to play the entire game with a choice belt except for Dragonite. So I think grabbing an Arceus is the play. He's going to decide on the Giratina. He really is going to value that loss impact for 180 to kind of deal with Dragonite. I think he's really afraid of what Dragonite can do to his board. Which is fair, because Dragonite with Choice Belt will knock out every Pokemon that he can play in this game. I think he's going to maybe hold on to... Did he use Starbirth? He did not. He has not used Starbirth yet. So he's just going to save the Starbirth. He's going to go into the Trinity Nova, accelerating 3 energy into his Pokemon V. So he's going to grab what looks like 2 Psychic and a Grass and attach them to Giratina V. He's holding the Ultra Ball. He's holding the Starbirth. He knows his opponent is not going to play Path to the Peak. He also would be fairly confident after an Iono, when your opponent had a lot of cards in hand, that they will not be able, hopefully, to get Dragonite with Choice Belt into play with Mirage Gate. So looking at those prize cards, Super Ninja is prized. Also looks like Raikou is prized again, and I think I saw Hawlucha in there. So Raikou really is not trying to stay. Like I said, I am not getting played in this set. I'm not going to get Trinity Nova'd. Austin really disrespecting his opponent. Says, I'm just going to lay out your prize cards. I'm going to cut. Never in my life have I ever seen anyone do that. Actually do that. Then you're going to go for the concealed card. See, he grabs the chorus. The Lost Box players just always have it. Now I understand why Austin is always mad at me, because I always have it when I play this deck. They just always have it. A much easier chorus to look for this time. He's going to I would imagine he gets rid of Manaphy and Forest Seal Stone. There's no reason to keep either of those cards. He has Clara, Chorus, and Psychic Energy for next turn. Looks like he has, what is that? 6 in the Lost Zone. Now he's going to have 7. He does have the Psychic in hand, and I don't think he's discarded a Psychic Energy yet. I think he's discarded Water and Lightning. So I think he's okay to get rid of the Psychic Energy, especially because he's already Lost Zoned 2 Escape Ropes. So the 3rd Escape Rope is actually insane. The way that he is drawing these cards in the situation where he has to Lost Zone them is wild to me. It's definitely not ideal. So Daniel playing the Escape Rope. Austin really not sure what to promote. He's afraid of Drapion knocking out Giratina. He's afraid of another Cram potentially coming down, because he doesn't know if Daniel plays another Cram or not. Another Cram coming down to knock out this Bidoof. With the Bidoof in the active spots, Daniel could use Moonlight Shuriken to knock it out, since Bidoof's ability protects it on the bench. I think him promoting Bidoof makes a lot of sense. He's just trying to kind of bait out his opponent into attacking it and not spreading the damage onto his V Pokemon. I think Austin knows he's going to win this game with those V Pokemon, specifically with that Arceus V-Star. That Drapion is just a cleanup Pokemon for things like Drapion, things that Arceus can't kill very easily. Daniel going for the Artizone to grab himself Sableye. He is very close. I think he has 7 in the Lost Zone. So he's close to Sableye. He has Lost Vacuum in hand. Another Flower Selecting from Comfy. Looks like he's going to be Lost Zoning another Super Rod, but he has the Dragonite this time. Recognizes that Dragonite with Choice Belt will be able to knock out Giratina V-Star, which is the thing that is threatening his Drapion at the moment. He's going to get rid of his own Artizone with the Lost Vacuum by Lost Zoning a Nest Ball, and he is going to go for a Lost Mine. 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 cards in the Lost Zone, going for the Lost Mind from Sableye on turn 2 is actually insane. That is just the power of this deck. You just turbo out cards with the Lost Zone. Lost Vacuum is crazy. He's spreading damage onto the Giratina and to the Arceus V-Star. It looks like 30 on each is what he wants to go with. So that way now he does not need the Choice Belt from Dragonite to be able to take knockouts. He can just use his regular Dragonite attack, but his bench is kind of clogged, and Austin does have Iono, so if he Ionos his opponent to 4 cards, he is going to keep out the, he's going to put the Dragonite on the bottom of the deck, he's going to put a Colress on the bottom, and a Clara. Going to keep those resources out of play for a while. Austin really thinking what he wants to do, thinking if he wants to just knock out the Sableye, thinking if he wants to Starbirth, potentially for boss's orders on the Drapion. He might be considering grabbing Giratina V-Star. He could grab Path to the Peak. I don't know if that's going to be very impactful right now, so he might not do it. Yeah, he could draw with Greninja, but you already have 10 cards in the Lost Zone. You have access to Colress in hand, and there's Clara in the deck, and you just have so many resources available. I don't know if Path is really the move right now. Now, maybe Iono Path is the potential move. Looks like he did grab Path, I think I saw, but I didn't see the other card. So we'll have to see what Austin plays. I would like to see him play an Iono. Your opponent, even if you don't know what your opponent has, your opponent just drew a lot of cards last turn. There's no way in your mind that they don't have everything that they need. He is going to play Iono. Looks like he grabbed an Arceus V. The Starbirth. He's going to play Iono. Austin will draw 5 cards. And Daniel is going to draw 4. And he draws 3 Mirage Gates. And the switch card is insane. He can just attack with Drapion this turn. I don't know if he would want to. And it looks like he can get 2 Flower Selections off, but he can't find a Stadium Bump. He can't draw more cards with Greninja. He could use Moonlight Shuriken just for damage, but I don't think that's worth it either. Austin going for the Trinity Nova, it looks like. Maybe he's playing that Nest Ball. I can't really tell. Oh, no, he's playing a Nest Ball. The glare. I can't even tell the glare on my own video. So I'm going for a Nest Ball. Gonna grab another Arceus V. He's really saying, hey, the way I'm gonna win this game, and it's probably not gonna be with Giratina, but it's gonna be with getting a whole bunch of 2 prizers out, switching around between them. He does play 1 copy of Sharon's Care and the Power Pad in the deck, mean that he can keep his Arceus relatively healthy. He's going to grab some energy with this Trinity Nova. Choosing to put 2 on Arceus V and then 1 on the other. He did choose to attach Cleansing Gloves. I like that. Just in case like you play Iono again or you play Judge. That's just a dead card. You don't want to draw into it. So I like it. Just keep it out of the deck. Keep it in play. Now, what's scary is Daniel does have another copy of Lost Vacuum in his deck. So he could, in theory, get rid of Austin's Choice Belts. And just like clockwork, there is the Lost Vacuum. So I guess this is why he does still have to grab Giratina V-Star. But that's another Psychic Energy in the Lost Zone. That is huge. That means there's only 2 available to him. And 1's in the discard pile. Don't have access to Super Rod at the moment. He's going to play Switch Card to go into this Comfy. And he's going to grab Battle VIP and Lightning Energy so he can retreat. He could, in theory, I think, attack with Drapion, but is it worth it? I don't think so. He could also, in theory, attack with Greninja, but it's not really worth it. I think at this, you just kind of pass turn. He's going to get rid of, his own choice belt to get rid of Path to the Peak, so we can draw 2 more cards with Greninja. I like that from him, but also you need to make sure that his choice belt is not a threat, and it is a huge threat to him right now. So I like that play from Austin, putting out multiple things that he could target with Lost Vacuum, and he has to choose. You only get rid of 1 card. Are you gonna get rid of the choice belt that could knock out Drapion with Boss's Orders? Get him closer to winning the game, or do you get rid of the Path to the Peak and we'll let you draw cards? Looks like he does have Boss's Orders as a supporter. He's gonna use it to try to stall out with an Arceus V in the active spot. I don't even know if you play these Mirage Gates. You don't have a way to get energy back into the deck. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 energy in discard. He plays a total of 9. So there's 5 energy in the deck. I don't think you take the risk. 2 of them are Lost Zones, so really he only has access to 3 energy in his whole deck. He does have Box of Disasters on that Arceus. It looks like he has Iono and Judge. Again, you didn't see your opponent really do much with their hand, but Iono is a great card to play. I don't really like playing Judge, but Iono I think is wonderful. And again, he doesn't know that Daniel has 3 Mirage Gates that he's putting on the bottom, but that's a huge disruption. He's not going to have access to those cards. If Austin can grab another Path to the Peak, Daniel, it just might be stuck in play. So Austin could grab, and I like this. He's going to keep the V-Guard energy. He just drew another one as well. I don't know about that one. I probably would have discarded that one. He's going to choose to keep it. Now he has access to attach and retreat this Arceus V to take a knockout. I think this is the way you win this matchup. You just have to take a knockout every single turn. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to knock out something every turn. Austin does have Boss's Orders for that Drapion V next turn. And you know your opponent most likely is not going to disrupt your hand. So you could keep your boss in hand and use it the next turn. Just take a knockout on like a Comfy or something. Your opponent really doesn't have anything going for him. He has 4 prize cards. To be able to knock out this Arceus V-Star, he would need to have Dragonite, but he just put all of those Mirage Gates on the bottom of the deck. I really don't see this game going for Daniel right now. Just well-timed Iono paths, making him make really hard decisions about what to get rid of, what to Lost Zone. He's just looking at his discard pile. I think he has Super Rod in his hand now? I can't tell. Artizone, I don't see it. It looks like he has double Switch Cart and a Roxanne. So Roxanne for sure could get him there. And I like playing it before you do any flower selects. You just draw as many cards as possible. Sequencing is definitely the name of the game with both of these decks, actually. Lost Box is definitely a lot harder to pilot compared to Arceus Giratina. But they all care about sequencing. If you sequence in the wrong order, there really isn't anything you can do. So Daniel playing that Roxanne, getting Austin to 2 cards, which was huge. A huge draw. Looks like Daniel's going for some flower selectings. Drawing some cards with Greninja. Okay, he did the concealed cards first. Then he's going for the flower selecting. I just thought he did it in a different order. Because now he's tapping his cards, still using his ability tokens. I think there really isn't much he can do. He does know that Austin Sherman does play the boss. I think he played it last game. There's Super Rod and Mirage Gates. He already lost Zone to Super Rod. He has to keep it. There's no way he could play the game. Is that 2 Super Rod in there? There's no there's not. Okay, that's a different card. Oh, that's Artizone. Okay, I'm actually blind. Yeah, he had to get rid of Mirage Gate. Just gonna hold the hand. But really, yeah, you have to make a move this turn, I think. I think he realizes that. I think he realizes if he doesn't take a knockout this turn, he is gonna lose the chance to win the game. Looks like he's gonna go for Sableye off the Super Rod, probably a Psychic and a Water Energy or something. A way to power it up, and maybe a way to get Greninja powered up, or that Drapion. We saw Drapion did put in a lot of work. Is choosing, I think, not to grab a Psychic Energy. Might be. I don't know. I don't know if that's the move. I couldn't tell if it was what was in his hand. Does not have Psychic in the deck, so I wonder if he drew it for turn. Or not for turn, but if it's in his hand. I didn't see it. But I wasn't really looking that hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bad commentator. Now, it looks like he's going to take a just easy, cheap knockout on the Scuffed. I think Austin benching that guy was actually the biggest calculated play he could have made. Because if you see that guy on the bench, you just want to knock him out. You want to keep your opponent from drawing cards. And he just passes. He doesn't have a way to attack with Sableye. I'm not sure why he didn't grab the Psychic Energy. So he has Boss's Orders in his hand. Looks like he's gonna Scuffed, just get those cards out of his hand. He's just gonna draw one card. And then he's just gonna go for the Trinity Nova for 210 for exact knockouts. And he is now only one prize card away. So I think the only way that Daniel could win this game is if he just bosses up that Arceus V without any energy on the bench, and he just has to use Sableye and just spread damage like nobody's business. But there's the Raihan, so there really isn't any way he could do it. I think if I was Daniel in this scenario, I would just scoop the game. Just go to game 3. There's really nothing you can do. If you weren't able to gust up that Arceus V, and he can't because he already did that earlier in the game, I think Austin just taking the 2 prize cards now instead of waiting for later. And he already had Boss in hand. It didn't matter what he had. He could have just knocked out anything on Daniel's board. So they're going to go to game number 3. Really fast, upbeat gameplay from Austin. He kind of knew exactly what he needed to do. Now, I will say, I saw this game live, and this is the biggest upset of a game I've ever seen in my life. Like, I promise you, this game will make you cry. It will make you cry. So Daniel's on the draw. He's going first. He's going to hit up that concealed cards. Doesn't draw anything playable. Like, he can bench Manaphy so he doesn't get donked. There's nothing playable in his hand. He can't do anything. Austin starts Bidoof, has Trekking Shoes, draw Sharon's Care. I think I would have discarded it and tried to draw another card. He attaches Box of Disasters, a card that isn't playable in this matchup, just to get out of his hand. And he's going to go for a Judge. Maybe he thinks, you know what, my opponent has Colress, there isn't anything he can do. because he's just sitting on a bunch of supporters. So I'm gonna judge. I'm gonna shuffle in a whole bunch of cards, and we're just gonna see how it goes. And this, for Daniel, this is the beginning of the end. Spoiler warning. This is a very hard game for him. This one judge is maybe the most detrimental judge I've ever seen in the Pokemon trading card game. I'm not lying to you. Because from here on, this game is hard. So he draws that Manaphy again, and really, he had all these cards before. So he just really drew the same card. So Austin does not draw anything. He has to attach energy to Bidoof. Daniel draws off the concealed cards and just gets Hawlucha. It's a not playable card. He can bench it, but there's really nothing he can do. He's probably going to bench Manaphy here, yeah, just to not get donked. And I was talking to Austin after the game, and he thought he was going to get donked because he didn't do anything. So he plays Bibarel. He's about to attach double turbo energy to Bibarel. He's about to try and like tail smash here in a second, but he's going to draw some cards. He's going to shuffle and judge. And then he's just going to kind of go for it. He's going to draw 4 cards off of Bibarel. He has a consistent draw engine now. The first time Bibarel played, there's the Nest Ball. There's an Arceus V. So now he's kind of cooking. Daniel has not played the game. His deck is not cooperating, which is unfortunate. And it's unfortunate for Austin because he's already attached that double turbo energy. There is not a way for him to Trinity Charge this turn. So he's going to go for the Tail Smash. This is the first Tail Smash we saw. So he's going to do, I think, 80 damage after the double turbo energy. Or is that 110? I don't even know how much damage Tail Smash does. He's going to conceal cards again for Sealstone Choice Belt. Like, there's nothing in his hand that can be used. I think he's eyeing up the switch card just to keep his Greninja healthy. Gonna go down to like 80 damage, I think. Or 70. I can't tell what that is. No, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Austin, he's just playing all his V-Stars. He's drawing cards with the barrel. He's playing the game. He's about to Tail Smash again, but he's playing the game. Daniel just flashing the camera. There's nothing. He has nothing. He has Sableye, Hawlucha, Switch Cart, Escape Rope. Like, there's just Austin out here. He's thinking through his turn. He's like, oh boy, here we go. I want to Ultra Ball, and I want to do stuff. He's definitely not going to eye on his opponent, who is not playing any cards. He's drawing a lot of cards, but he isn't playing any of them. He's going for the second Bidoof. Just going to try to draw some more cards later. Austin's still in, like, he's in a good spot by his board state. He's just in a bad spot by the little amount that he's actually doing in the game. So Daniel has Artizone, so he can finally grab a Comfey. He's gonna do a deck check, and then now he's in the game. Austin really hasn't done anything. He just Tail Smashed once. Yeah, he has Arceus and Giratina V-Star in a Bidoof, but Daniel can still win the game. Like, this is very much not in his favor, but it's winnable. It's real hard, though. So he has plenty of switch outs to get that Comfey into the active spot. So he's going to start flower selecting. Here we go. And Mirage Gate, and it looks like Clara. And you can just see, like, with his hand, he's just so upset. He's got to keep the Clara just for the late game. He's able to get there. He doesn't even have a way to draw cards with concealed cards. Like, he's just... This is just brutal. This is just so hard to watch. So Austin attaches Choice Bell, evolves a second Bidoof into Bibarel, drawing cards. Like, he's playing the game. Trekking Shoes, Starbirth for potentially Switch and double Turbo Energy. I think he just wants Switch to knock out the only Comfey that this guy has. He is going to play Path, so if he could use concealed cards, he can't now. Is that Bidoof with all the Bibarel has all the energy on it in the world. I would like to see him use Artizone before he does this. Just to grab School Vet. I think it's okay though. I don't think he's really like worried at all about it. He does knock out the Comfey. Daniel going for the turn. He has Manaphy in the active spot. And Daniel's just like, how did this happen to me? This is awful. I needed a Colress at some point in the turn. And it looks like he's gonna go for the Clara. He's eyeing out the Clara to go for like the Comfey and some energy. Just get some resources back. The only Pokemon in his discard pile is Comfey, so he's going for Water, Psychic Energies, and Comfey. Like, he's eyeing up attached to Retreat. He has Escape Rope, which I actually don't hate. But he does have that Bidoof or Bibarel with DTE on it. So Austin is just going to be able to retreat that guy. So Comfey, we're going for another flower selecting. Here we go, second flower selecting of the game. And, oh, there's a Colress. But he played Clara this turn. So he can't even use it. He cannot even use that Colress. He's just going to retreat into the Manaphy. And Austin just plays the most BM Escape Rope I've ever seen in my life. He didn't even follow the game state. Daniel's supposed to promote first. He's just gonna bring up the Comfey. I think he just values the draw on Greninja more than anything, and I don't necessarily agree with that. Not in this situation. He did get rid of Lost Vacuum too, so like that's kind of why I feel this way. If you get rid of Lost Vacuum, it's not really a lot to say. He does have Colress finally. He has Super Rod. So finally, the first Colress of the game. And all of them are good, playable cards. Every single one of them. He's already got rid of a Mirage Gate, so I think if you're trying to actually like win this game, because he's a better player than me, I would have just given up. I would have not played Colress for 4 or 5 turns like he did, and I would have just given up. I would have quit. The game would be over, and I'd go home. Looks like he's just gonna get rid of. This is a really hard decision. He's eyeing out Boss and Switch Card to get rid of, but he's played so many switching options already. You really get rid of Boss and Switch Card, and he does. He values the other cards. He does have Lost Vacuum to get rid of the Path to be able to draw with Greninja, so I think he's eyeing up that Halucha. Is very not playable right now. He has 5 cards on Lost Zone. He could, if he does happen to get 2 more Comfies and ways to switch into them, he could get a Mirage Gate off this turn. But then he played Greninja and got 2 Battle VIP passes off of it. You really cannot make this up. I felt so bad for him because there's just nothing he could do. Like, his hand the entire game was unplayable. And I really have props to him. I have huge props to this guy because he played this entire game. He's attaching energy to Sableye here. I think we're going to actually see an attack. Maybe. Or maybe that's next turn. Where he attacks. Of all the cards to draw off of concealed cards, after you played a Chorus, and they were double VIP pass. So Austin, he's really just cut and dry. I call time at this point. So the way that time works in a top 8 scenario, or top 4, or finals, or whatever, is if you are in time in game 3, if no one has won by the time turns are called, the winner is determined by who has the most prize, who has the least prize cards remaining. So Austin right now, he's going to take his 3rd prize card. I mean, there is a universe. It's not very likely, but there is a universe in a way that Daniel could take 3 prize cards in 2 turns. And it is not by doing what he just did, which if you did not see, he drew Battle VIP Pass for turn. And I mean, at this point, everyone was watching. We were just having a good time about it. He's about to attack with Sableye, and you scratch for 50 damage. And yeah, he's just going to flash the camera. Again, huge props to Daniel, because he's a better man than me. I would have actually just quit playing that game. I would have left. I would have been salty. I would have been so mad. And no one would have been able to tell me otherwise. But for closing thoughts, for the first 2 games, I think Austin played it immaculately. To where you have to play the 1 prize game. You have to try to keep your outs to... Because Austin did the same thing in both games. It just so happened that Daniel was able to capitalize on early cram attack in the first game, and he did not have that option in the second game. But Austin had a very clear path to victory. Just knock out a whole bunch of 1 prizers so you get to 3 prize cards, boss the Drapion, knock it out, and then you can just knock out anything else on his board. That's the play that you go for. And in game 1, Austin couldn't do it because Giratina got knocked out early, and he didn't have the way to threaten the knockout. In game 2, Giratina stayed alive the entire game, and the choice spell stayed on the board as well because he also played Path. And Daniel prioritized getting Path off of the board rather than getting the choice spell off the board. So I still, though, very well played games by both players. I really want to give Daniel the props he deserves. He's a good player. He played his heart out, and then his deck just did not cooperate. And you know what? That happens. It happened to me this past weekend at the time of recording this, which is August 28th. It happened to Austin in spoilers, but it happens to him later on where his deck just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. It happens to a lot of us. And I just respect him for playing it out, sticking it through, having a good time, and really just doing his best. So that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble for over an hour about Pokemon cards and shiny cardboard. Have a great rest of your day or evening or morning or wherever you are. And we will see you on the next video, which will be the finals of this League Cup. So it's going to be Austin Sherman against Preston, who you saw in game 1, or the first game of top 8. He won in the mirror match against Kevin, who commentated that last game. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.